is TSM versus Liquid. This is match 3. It's 1-1, so it's probably a good match. It's a week ago. They don't have Rafa on the team. They have Waz. This iteration of the team actually did well, and this was TSM before they got dropped. So this is probably like a week and a half old VOD.
Guess how far you have.
I don't know if they're gonna stay on these classes. This is who's on offense right now. Defense is TSM. Offense is Liquid. I don't think that they're gonna stay on the Junkrat.
Have to walk back there, and of course they just spawn right across the road. Yeah. So the risk, unfortunately, is not worth the reward in that situation, which is why you're just spam, sitting back in this position, basically at the second checkpoint, to await the attacking team. There, of course, will still be a little bit of poking and pro.
Okay, so now they're on their real classes. We can. This defensive setup is very aggressive. They're running the Tracer Winston, which is pretty good. It's different. It's like the alternative to McCree Reinhardt, or anything Reinhardt. I guess Reaper Reinhardt would be the alternative here. They're opting not to run Diva, which is okay, I guess. They're also opting not to run Zarya or Reaper. So if you just look at the comps, they're pretty tank heavy. They have the Roadhog and the Winston, so it's a lot of HP to get through. And then they have the Tracer and the McCree for damage. They don't have much defense. Like, all of their heroes can take damage, so like you would expect Liquid to have ult faster just in general, because there's no Reinhardt shield and there's no damage block. There's no Zarya bubble or anything. But the purpose of this lineup is just to get up in their face. It's kind of risky, but the good part about it is that half their team can get back to the point really fast if they die. Offense is a little bit of a mishmash of heroes. Reinhardt's always good on offense on this map. You generally don't ever want to drop the Reinhardt. I think throughout the entire map, Reinhardt is always good. I mean, Winston Bubble's it's not a big deal. Like, Winston Bubble's not reliable damage block. You can get through Winston Bubble. But they're going to play the high ground with the Genji. On paper, I would say that the lineups are pretty even. The Winston can deal with the Genji pretty well, but then the Zarya can deal with the Roadhog pretty well. So those two heroes kind of cancel each other out. If I was Liquid, I'd probably swap Waz to a Reaper, just because it would do a lot of work against this.
But generally speaking, you do not see those big committed teams.
No.
So now we are going to be moving out. Team Liquid will be attacking first. I am pleased to announce that ID is once again going to be playing Zarya. Waz, though, will be looking to make an impact on Genji to hang again on basically everyone.
They're not even talking about classes. They're talking about like who's on the team.
Absolutely no surprises there.
Yep, offense looks pretty solid here for attacking Gibraltar, and this is exactly what.
Okay, let's talk about this. They decided not to defend Liquid or TSM. I feel like this is a mistake. Their lineup is very good at engaging. They could have taken a fight on this point. With a defense this aggressive, you should probably try to get something done before the cart gets through this choke point. Some teams will forward hold and then they'll fight you here. And the reason why you'll fight here is because if you get wiped, you just you'll respawn fast enough to defend the second point. If you win, you just win and you have ult advantage. But they just decided to give up the first point, which is fine, I guess. But they could have done a lot more, I think, with the high ground, because the only hero that can get up high ground. Okay, and here's a smart thing that a lot of teams... I haven't seen someone do this yet. This is the first time I've seen it. Waz immediately saw their lineup, because you wait like the 10 seconds or whatever, and it shows you their lineup. And he did exactly what I thought he was going to play, or what he thought he was going to do. He just switched to the Reaper right off the bat, because he saw what they were running. Like, there's no reason not to run Reaper against this. But yeah, all he did was hit tab and say, okay, they have Winston and Roadhog, I'm just going to play Reaper.
While the winners will move on into a best of 5, a grand finals, and a chance at automatic playoff contention. So
you would expect them to drop on the cart right now with their Tracer and stuff, but this could be pretty disastrous, honestly.
Here on the defense, splitting up a little bit.
Roadhog shattered the shield. That's pretty much all the Roadhog's job. Misses the hook. That's a pretty big deal, because it's going to give Mezzer time to recharge his shield. But they're playing like very flank heavy, or flank centric right now. I'm not sure if Liquid knows exactly where they are. Liquid's just gonna flank them. This is such a bizarre fight right now. I've never seen a team do this before. But let's talk about why they're doing this, I guess. The only way that TSM wins is if they get picks, and their whole lineup is based on getting picks. Can you close the copy video URL menu? In the copy video menu. You mean this thing? Whatever. I can't do anything. Like, YouTube doesn't give me options. I could like set up Chromecast and project to a monitor and then capture that monitor, but I'll do that next time. Because I can control it from my phone. What was I gonna say? The only way that they get kills is if they get split up, because they have the Roadhog for the hook. He'll get a pick if someone's alone. The Tracer will get a pick if someone's alone. And then their whole lineup is reliant on them not deathballing and being able to get picked off. So if they force the fight in these hallways in the back, the Tracer has no room to get a kill. The Tracer has to engage in a small hallway and he's just gonna die. So they opened up with 2 kills on Liquid, which is really good, because now it puts TSM in a really bad position. I'm not sure why they're not just capping. Like, they can just let this Tracer stand here and just cap the cart. I think this is a mistake on their part. This is actually a massive mistake. They got 2 picks. They should have just capped. They didn't have to fight these people in the IT room. Like, they were never going to threaten them. This is a 2-week-old VOD, so maybe they watched this already and they know. But they could have easily just like push the cart and force the Tracer to come to them.
Was the first eliminated there, but now that he's back into the fight, he is a source of consistent damage.
It was a very messy fight though.
Gets the easy kill there. No collateral damage, thankfully, for Liquid. Reinhardt didn't like walk.
They're staggering really bad right now. They thought that they were more ahead than they were. They're still in a good position. Liquid that is, but this Tracer has to die. If the Tracer doesn't die, they're gonna lose. And they could have killed. They tried to fight the Tracer in here, but the Tracer always has that health pack. And unless they get a flashbang on the Tracer, they're not killing her. So it's a little bizarre to me that they decided to take this fight, because if they didn't take that fight, Nick wouldn't have had his Tracer sticky, pulse bomb or whatever, and then Reinhardt would still be alive, or Mezzer would still be alive because he wouldn't have gotten stuck. So it's just a mistake from them not capping. But somehow AZK and Waz are just getting all these kills. And that's that was a good transcendence, because it just ensures that they win the fight. Alright, the camera, that was really confusing. The camera just switched off Nicholas to go to AZK because they popped their ults. AZK and Waz just went nuts, but you couldn't see anything on screen because the camera was watching a Tracer. But Waz just got like a double or a triple kill, and so did AZK. So as soon as they got those 2 kills, they knew that they were in a good position to fight. So Dahang just pops his ult to secure the point, and a lot of teams will do that on payload maps. It's a lot more, it's just safe there. Like, once they get those 2 picks, they're in a really good position. So if you keep them alive, they can continue to be in a good position. They killed Lucio and a DPS, so as long as AZK and Waz are alive, they're in good fighting position. So popping the Transcendence was a good idea. I'm not sure. Oh, he just switched. He was Winston, and now he's like, okay, I need to play Reinhardt. And that goes back to the whole idea, which I think I talked about in like the first video I did, is that if your defense isn't good enough on all the points, you wind up in situations like this where you give up huge advantages on the second point. Because now Mezzer's gonna have Reinhardt ult, and JKW will not, because he decided to play Winston. I would expect right now though that Liquid will probably change some heroes on their lineup to control the top of the ship, and I would probably say that TSM will do the same. But right now Liquid's just kind of rolling, and they have the Zarya black hole. They know that they have the advantage on the Reinhardt ult because they know that JKW wasn't even playing Reinhardt, so they're just probably going to roll the card in as far as they can before they try to pop a black hole or something, or find a black hole rather.
Just about managed to scramble into the shuttle and get a little bit of high ground vision, but take a look at Waz from up above. There's a death blossom. He gets Nicholas before.
I don't like TSM's lineup here. There's a weakness to this lineup. Liquid's lineup. They don't have any high ground. They actually have none. The only hero that can get up on the roof is Waz if he teleports in front of their face. Roadhog isn't that good, especially since they've been running the Reaper Zarya. Like, Reaper Zarya is like a direct counter to Roadhog. You're never gonna get kills as a Roadhog if there's a Zarya on the enemy team. If the Zarya is like paying attention and the team's like playing smart. So Harblue's kind of just a waste in this defense. Nicholas is risky because they're just deathballing because they have the Zarya. So the Zarya is really good against the Tracer just because she keeps people alive. The McCree is good against Tracer. All these heroes when they're clumped are really good against Tracer. They could just be playing the roof like the spaceship. If they played the spaceship with like a 76, a Diva, a Winston instead of like a 76, a Diva, and a Winston instead of a Tracer and a Roadhog, like any of those two heroes together, they can just hold the roof and spam down. But they're not doing that. They also probably want a Reaper of their own to deal with id. Id really shouldn't die unless he gets ulted by JKW, or that's pretty much it, or he gets a sticky.
Actually comes out there, and the first two picks actually go the way of Team Liquid. Torque, though, pulling one back and denying McCree an opportunity to use a potential Deadeye.
This is a pretty bad drop the beat too. Like, I don't know why he popped ult there. Like, look at this. Harblue's dead, Nicholas is dead. All that they have is a McCree to damage. The drop the beat, in theory, can get JKW as ult, but they're under no pressure here. They're not going to get pushed. Like, wait until Waz commits and then drop the beat. But like, AZK's down, id's not really a damage dealer, and Waz just uses ult. So like, what are they afraid of here? I don't know why Joe Meister pops his ult. Like, Waz dies there and it has nothing to do with the drop the beat. Now it just gave them time to spawn, but it was probably a good trade in all honesty for Liquid because they didn't have to blow their ults. They have both of their support ults soon. Mitchell's about to get drop the beat and they don't have a counter drop the beat. They also don't have a counter Zenyatta ult. So if they get a black hole here, they should just drop the beat right now, to be honest with you. I would have probably popped Graviton there and just capped, but it doesn't matter. This is bad. That was such a misplay. That was like a fat misplay from them. They had a black hole that would have not done any damage, any real damage, but it would have given them the positioning battle. Like, they would have been stuck in this doorway or some shit. It might not have been the best black hole, let's be real, but if they managed to kill the Reinhardt shield during the black hole, they could have just popped Mezer's ult and killed them anyway. But the drop the beat came out too slow. I think that they should have used it just to like declare that they were going to win the fight, just to like say, come fight us. Because once the hang dies, a lot of their damage goes away and a lot of their survivability goes away. So the fact that he didn't get these two heroes in the ult is really bad. He like wanted to use it to save his team, but he should have used it to like just like lay the foot down and say like, all right, we're gonna win this fight. But now it puts them in a bad position because like now Mezer feels pressured to ult because they were probably like prepping up that fight so much, but he just ulted with his DPS players down. So now they just lose. Like, they just blew like 4 ults. Both teams, no, just Liquid blew like 2 or 3 ults. That's just game losing. And that's all about timing. If Mitchell uses ult immediately, he would have saved Waz and Dahang, and then they could have capitalized on Mezer's ult, because they were going to have to fall down no matter what. It's just a little indecision, and I think more than anything else. They're still opting to just play this style where they ignore the roof. Both teams are ignoring the roof, which is strange, because it should favor Liquid. But Liquid just kind of blew their advantage, and now they're probably going to get stuck for another minute or two while they try to build ults, unless someone makes a big play. Is this? JKW just panicked so hard? What is this aim?
Trying to find something. I'm not sure he actually got any kills off of it. Torque has a Deadeye of his own now, and the defense should find ID.
Oh my god.
Well,
they just ignored him. He missed like 7 bullets and then gets a high noon off on 2 people. But they lost that fight anyway. They were at ult disadvantage because they had blown him.
and stop you right on the point.
And this is what I was talking about before. Harblue realized that playing Roadhog was useless, so now he can just play this annoying style of Monkey and give them more more sustain. The Winston's not terribly good though, just because they still have the Reaper, but if the Winston plays on the Winston can always go on the roof to survive. And if he just plays around the bubble and keeps Shake alive, he'll do fine regardless.
A little bit lucky there. We saw him use his Earth Shatter into the Transcendence of the Hag, and if you look closely, even though he got 2 people with the
I would have liked to see, I would have liked to have seen the Genji. This is weird though that he switches. He's on Reaper and he switches to Genji, but he's the only one that switches. So this to me is just a bad idea because he's playing Genji now into Winston and Zenyatta, which is like really hard to do if you don't have backup, and he doesn't really have backup right now. You might be able to get a pick. Like Winston doesn't really hard counter Genji, but it's definitely not as good of a matchup as like Reaper. I would have liked to have seen like, I don't know, id maybe switch to Winston, or I guess that's it. Like I'd rather see id go to Winston and then he stays on Reaper, and then you just take the fight that way. Because they really can't deal with Nicholas right now. Like he can sit up here forever, and then he can just come in at the right time.
Can't quite get in there just yet. Looking for a second dash to maybe move in and pick off the Reinhardt. AZK with the Discord on him though is an excellent target. He gets.
And now that the McCree's dead, he's actually untouchable. He's never gonna die.
Yeah, everything going the way of TSM again means that.
But they're just not playing the roof. And then that was a really bad black hole. This is just like game throwy shit. Like they just lost that fight so bad. He might switch heroes. Maybe he just wants to switch heroes. But if he's not switching heroes, no, it's just bad.
That was not ID's best, as most of his team was already dead. There hasn't been a Mercy in competitive play for so long that Res was definitely not an option. So the Graviton Surge, a bit of a mistake there. Oh, we do see him switching to Reaper now. Only 1 tank for the offense with 2.5 minutes left to try and get through the surge.
So now they're kind of like panicking. Or they're just being weird. Like, I don't know if id can't play Genji. Maybe he can't. Maybe they wanted him to switch to Reaper and he was like, I have black hole. But if that was the call, then he should use the black hole immediately.
Sorry, the shuttle room here.
They're just not using their ult sufficiently, and like it's losing them the fights.
Coming out from Team Liquid.
Literally, if they had dropped the beat when I said that they should have dropped the beat, they probably would have won by now. They would have won this point by now. Ooh, that's a beef. That could have been like a triple kill.
No damage done there, but that was a really good try. He's gonna have to think of another way now for the flank, and Team Liquid will be aware.
I don't like this push though. It was such a ballsy ass push.
JKW getting knocked down there without being able to use.
That was like, what? It works. That was crazy. Actually, I've never seen that before. Never seen it work that well before. But in reality, it probably shouldn't have. Like that sticky bomb probably should have gotten a kill. The fact that Mezzer won the Earth Shatter battle was like actually the deciding factor there. Was that they killed JKW shield before they killed Mezzer, so Mezzer got the Earth Shatter off. It literally came down to whoever got the Earth Shatter off. And then they just got forward spawned where they killed them when they spawned. Ooh, nobody's doing anything all wrong. It was just a weird push. It only worked, like it worked because the Tracer missed the sticky. It literally came down to that. And then the shield breaking. That was a good push, like I liked it. Ooh, that's a good high noon.
Who's starting to become more influential and absolutely blowing the head off Mezzer as well. Team Liquid decapitated as soon as they get through the door.
Poor Winston. Why does he have to be decapitated? Why can't he just be like...
High noons are really hard to play around if you don't play behind the shield on this point, because there's so much room. Like, you can get caught out so easily. I like this positioning from them. They're just going to hold this bridge. Spam. But they're still running a pretty tanky lineup, and Nicholas is still playing Tracer this whole time. This is probably one of the few maps where Tracer's good, like, throughout the entire map. There's so much space. This is one of the hardest chokes to push, though, in the game right here, is this little balcony thing.
That full heal and get back into the fray. There's a Winston here for the side of the defense. Harblue leaping in. Sound Barrier catching absolutely everyone on TSM is going to give them a great chance to win this fight. ID falls. AZK gets the Deadeye, but nothing for his
That's bizarre. I don't know why I popped it.
Looks kind of scary for offense right now.
This is just very scrappy, and that's like what this map comes down to, is these massive scrappy fights. He traded, that wasn't the worst. He got rid of the Zenyatta ult. In theory, he should be able to build another Dragon Blade before the Zenyatta ult's out, but now they won't have the Zenyatta ult when they push the next time. Minstrel's gonna have to drop the beat though, so Minstrel's dropped the beat right now. And they have no defensive ults, so if they like drop the beat into a Reaper Death Blossom, they should be able to do a lot of work. But this Torque TJ ult is SP boost is really good from Minstrel. Like got them all out.
AZK getting hook comboed. There is that flanking Roadhog we know and love from Harblue. The drop down from Torque helps pick off ID and Waz. Great shots there.
They should have waited like 2 seconds there for Minstrel to get his ult. Like they didn't have to die. I was just Torque hitting shots, but Minstrel got his ult during that fight. They should just like let him get in it. He was at 98. I don't know if he just didn't call it or if they just didn't know, but if he had gotten his ult off there, they would have had a completely different fight.
Between them every single fight, and oh god, Joshy, oh god.
But this sticky bomb's gonna mess up Reinhardt so hard right now. How would he? That's so weird that he goes for that. I probably would have just stuck the Reinhardt and gotten the kill on the Reinhardt.
He had his back fully exposed. He walked right past the Lucio too. Did you
know why he got cocky there?
I mean, it might not matter.
It works out though, because he like disjointed them, the Tracer, and then I guess that they fought into it badly. But they still haven't used these ults. They're like afraid to pop the drop the beat. I feel like they should have used it. Like Joe Meister's gonna get his now, and Shake's pretty close to Transcendence, so they have one more good push in them where they're gonna have both of their support ults, and TSM won't have their Transcendence.
Anyway, this is the last opportunity for Liquid. ID has a Death Blossom available. I hear
so there's the drop the beat.
Looks like Torque, but didn't get anything for it. Sound Barrier coming out on the side of the offense gives them the extra HP they need to take out Harblue and Joe Meister. They both have their ults available.
They wouldn't have had Transcendence if they did this like last fight. But I don't know what happened last fight because I didn't see it. I'm assuming that there was like a sticky or just a headshot on Minstrel.
This is so unbelievably close right now.
Oh my god, that he just died to that.
Overtime at the moment, and Team Liquid cannot afford to have people dying and constantly flowing back in. They need to stem the flow. There are 3 of them on at the moment. TSM trying to come.
I was so clutch, but I mean it was clutch because they just got their ults and used them. Like they finally just popped 2 or 3 at the same time. If they had done that earlier, they probably would have shaved off a few minutes. It's actually crazy in this game, like how close a game can be. Like one bad timing or something can just lose you 2 or 3 minutes because it like snowballs. Like you mess up one fight and then it like delays you and then you're down ult advantage and then you just like it kills you. I don't know. It's bizarre. Oh, let's fast forward. If 2 got big, would you return? Probably not. I don't know, like, if 3 came out, maybe I'd go back, but this game's pretty good. This game has more depth. I enjoy that I can watch this and, like, learn things. Alright, prepare to attack. They're gonna opt to hold server room with this lineup. They're running pretty tank heavy. It's gonna sit up here. TV did this, I think, in like closed beta 1, where he just stayed Junkrat and he just like denies anyone from coming up on this hill and he just spams rollers into this corridor. It's pretty strong because you can fall down to the health pack and like sticky people off and put a trap up here and like keep yourself alive while the Zenyatta heals you. But it's just a different strategy. They're going to continue with the Roadhog. They have the Roadhog Genji Tracer. This is a very aggressive strategy. I'd probably swap out one of the tanks for Winston just to make the Genji Tracer better, but we'll see. I mean, you always want Reinhardt generally just to defend the cart. But the Reinhardt's going to have a hard time against the Junkrat spam if he does get some good Junkrat spam.
Defense, and a lot of that has to do with just the high ground nature of defending Gibraltar. Out the gate, Nicholas and Torque both taking the high ground on.
But Genji Tracer is pretty terrifying. Genji Tracer Winston's even more terrifying. Ooh, that was a good trap. He got a trap off and he got a kill.
That is going to slow them down a little bit. Normally we see the Junkrat getting prioritized, but Tracer is going to walk right into the trap, unfortunately, for TSM.
Can I be honest though, when I play Junkrat and I hear I snag a Tracer, it's like one of the most satisfying feelings on earth. I like setting the bomb trap. Of course, a lot of people like to wait until someone gets up in their face to try and repel them, but the bomb trap is so satisfying. You set it on a health pack, they step on it and die. It's like, ha ha ha, I'm Junkrat.
They don't really have the best way to kill Harblue with their lineup. Liquid. Because like The Roadhog's pretty good against the D.Va. I mean, it's not like a counter or anything, but you can hook her out of defense matrix, and then your teammates can just kill her really quick. So even if you like, as long as he gets like a hook or two, they're gonna do really well. They have so much damage on this TSM lineup. Nicholas switched off Tracer and went straight to Reaper. But look at how much damage they have. They're running Roadhog, Reaper, Genji. Like, any hook is a kill because there's no Zarya on the enemy team. This lineup's just gonna roll, but that insane. That was a big play from id. They would have lost if that Tire didn't get a 2K. But Harblu's just gonna try to spam them out of their spawn, which is really smart. They're staggering now. They need to reset. TSM does. Get the hell out. Here they do. They're just gonna run.
Actually being way back now. I can't believe they didn't actually get that point after taking out Harblu. Things were looking really good for them.
That double Tire kill was ginormous though. They would have definitely lost the fight and the point if that Tire didn't get 2 kills. He's gonna switch now though. He's gonna go into the Zarya because he knows that the hook is too good. That was a forced ult. I don't think it hit anything. Maybe it did? It's very hard to spectate this because I'm hard to tell what's happening. I think that Earthshatter whiffed and then they didn't drop the beat because Joe Meister died, but I didn't really see how Joe Meister died. But if Joe Meister didn't die, it would have been a completely different fight. Now it's drop the beat versus drop the beat, and like that's really all they have. But it must have done a lot of work there because he went from 0 ult to 90% ult, which means they probably just charged a shit ton of damage off of Shake's Transcendence and Harblu combination. Let's talk about that for a second. So like, when you run Zarya against a Zenyatta comp, like teams will run like Zenyatta D.Va, Zenyatta Roadhog, Zenyatta Reaper, Zenyatta anything. When Zenyatta pops ult, it's just like free damage build for your team if they like try to get aggressive and they don't have the right heroes. So every time that a Zenyatta like pops her ult, it just creates this ult battery for the Zarya. Like normally Zarya will be like, oh, I have 100 damage, and then if you hit someone for 2 seconds, they'll die. But they don't die if they're Zenyatta ulted. So you just wind up in this position where you have maximum charge on your gun, and then you just build your ult in like 5 seconds because you're just constantly doing damage with it. Whereas 9 times out of 10, when they don't have Zenyatta ult, they would have just gotten the kill. This is risky business from TSM though, because it wants a black hole. That was huge. Yeah, this was a mistake, I guess, taking this push if you're TSM. They definitely didn't expect that, because you wouldn't think that he's going to have Zarya ult after one fight, but the fact that he did just won them this fight. I wouldn't have thought he would have had ult, unless someone must have known that he was doing a shit ton of damage. But him getting that black hole off, you just run in with Mezzer. Mezzer swings a few times, you throw a flashbang in there. You just like click, you like put the D.Va matrix up, and then they can't do any damage. That was just a big play from id, and that was really smart that he just ran up that side path because they didn't expect it at all. It's a team wipe.
That was great presence of mind from ID just to run up the stairs and into whatever he found, but found 4 people, easy graviton.
And like note that now they have Transcendence and they have Earthshatter. And they got Earthshatter during the black hole because Mezzer just swung his hammer at like 6 people and it cleaved.
All 6 team members died within about a second and a half of each other. So at least you're not going to stagger and you're not going to be stalled for any longer than necessary, but ouch! And all of a sudden 10 minutes and 22 seconds is looking like it could be quite close between these teams. Team Liquid is
doing a really good defense from Liquid though. Like it's working out in their favor. And they're playing it really well. Like they're just like disciplined. They're just holding server room, nobody's peeking, just hold server room, stick to the game plan. They back out, pop high noon to zone them out. They just wasted speed boost on Joe Meister because now they can't peek. They're not even running a McCree on TSM, which is kind of insane.
leaping out now with the Dragon Blade. You can see the sound barrier.
This is just an ult v ult slam, and let's see what happens here.
Minstrel and Mezzer both fall despite the
it's hard to like analyze this. This is just one of those times where everyone hits ult at the same time and some teams just win and some don't, you know. They pop Dragon Blade, which was smart. Joe Meister drops the beat to make the Dragon Blade better. Minstrel drops the beat to deny the what's it called? Deny the Dragon Blade damage. But his team gets split up and Dahang isn't able to get everyone alive, I guess. Like, I don't know what happened. I think the Diva ult went off. Or I don't know. I'm not sure why they got split up here. Like how these guys got split up from Dahang, but the fact that they did was bad because it allowed this Dragon Blade to get the kill on Minstrel. And then I guess Dahang was like, fuck, I have to save Minstrel. Then Minstrel dies, and then these two die. But it's just a hard position for Dahang there. I think his team got split up and he didn't have anywhere to go. So now they're going to win the fight off that. The good news for Liquid, though, is that they traded ults.
No, I think actually they're going to be lucky enough to all spawn together, so they could put up a really good defense in the shuttle room.
This is episode 2 of the Nick and Torch Show. You are watching it live with TSM.
Another hook combo.
They got the spawns, which is really good. Some teams will actually stop pushing the cart to wait for the enemy team to spawn so they can spawn camp them here. The game doesn't let you like cycle spawn right now, but whatever. So like if you're gonna cap, sometimes it's actually just better for you to like slow down your cap so that way you can get them to all spawn right here, so then you can speed boost it and kill them when they're out of position. You have to be like in the presence of mind when you're doing that, and it's like kind of hard to be in that presence of mind, but it's definitely a play. And you're seeing like the, I don't know if it just wound up that their times were good enough. They didn't like have to force it, but now they're gonna get free kills on them while they're still trying to retreat.
TSM now move into the hangar phase.
I love Harblue grabbing the McCree earlier. I wanted to make an abduction joke. Like he's just been lifted.
They're not playing in defense that plays the roof though on Liquid. They probably should have switched the hero or two just to get up top. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get up top right now. They're gonna try to for sure because it's the play, but nope, they're just playing it the same way that TSM played it.
Finding a couple of kills means Liquid is in great position. There's another hook combo on to Dahang, but Harblue all by himself again. Liquid is cleaning up on the payload.
So AZK just pops High Noon, gets a double kill on the supports, and then the game's just like the fights are just over. I mean, Harblue got that hook on Dahang, but it didn't really matter. It was like after they lost already. Like there was no play from that. This is a really good defense from Liquid though. Like they're playing this really well, and I don't even think Waz was on the team for a long time when this was happening.
Still very possible. Here comes Torque with the Dragon Blade. He's looking to chop and change over here.
This is so weird. This just happened again where the team took the fight through the ship. The first time when Liquid did it, they did it with the Earth Shatter, but this time they just did it with the Dragon Blade. I guess it's smart. Both teams didn't have ult. Mezzer had ult and he used it, but they had reset the ults after the first point, and then all they blew was Transcendence and Dragon Blade. Now I don't even think the Transcendence was with the Dragon Blade. So the fact that they had no ults on defense just allows for this Torque. Oh my god, I messed up. Sorry guys. Please forgive me for my sins. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. So he kills Mezzer and then he just comes down here. It's just weird that that worked twice. That's how the teams won that zone, by pushing through the shit. Maybe that's just the play now. Maybe I'm behind on the meta.
Shake did actually pop Transcendence there as well. It could have gone the other way perhaps, as Mezzer looks like.
But they had the ult advantage and they had no way to respond. Like the defensive supports from Liquid still don't have it, you know? Like they're still down ults. So the fact that Shake was able to get off Transcendence and they had no answer to it is like really big. Also, the fact that Mezzer died to the only other ult that they had was Mezzer's, and the fact that Mezzer died to the Dragon Blade just ensured that victory. Like there was no way for them to win that fight because they were fighting into Transcendence and Dragon Blade with 0 ults to counter.
Just did not get a lot for it as Shake was ready on his his own ultimate. Hardblue has the whole hog ult. He can just get right up in
but that like small timing, the fact that they did that so fast, if they had waited like an extra couple of seconds, maybe Dahan gets his ult. It's all about like abusing the windows, and the general rule, and this isn't like a general rule, but you generally want to get your ults and use them like as fast as you can, as efficiently as you can. I'm not saying like get Dragon Blade and then be like, team, we're popping Dragon Blade. Get like your Dragon Blade and then see how close your Lucio is, and then if your Lucio's close, then like soak damage for your Lucio so you can like.
That's right, the shuttle room, they did not get enough.
That was really good discipline from Mezer.
The fact that their spawns were
not from Mezer, from JKW. He backed up and didn't even hesitate, and his team all stayed behind him, and he didn't drop his shield. Hardblue gets a pick on AZK, and the fight's actually just so hard to win because they use their ults. They were in such a weird position there, and this is actually JKW's win. Like JKW won this fight for them, and like you probably don't know why, but or you probably it's not as obvious to the casters, but the fact that JKW was able to back out and like didn't flinch when Mezer was charging at him, like he didn't drop his shield to countercharge, he just literally stood there. And then the two people that were behind his shield didn't get high nooned, and then it pushes them out of the way. Or it forces Liquid to push up to go for the high noon, and then Hardblue comes in from the back and gets a hook on AZK and then pops his ult. Look how close they are to ult though. Minstrel dropped a beat, and I guess that they still lost the fight. I'm gonna go back and see what happened here. Yeah, this is a mistake from Minstrel, actually. Hardblue pops his ult, and the Minstrel panic ults and drops the beat, but his team's already dead. Like 3 people are already dead. So this ult's just bad. And if they saved it, they could have probably taken a fight with it now. Because I don't think that they're going to cap immediately. Like, it's going to be a staggered fight. But Hardblue's just hitting hooks right now, and he's just plowing them. So this is fine, actually, because they're going to spawn in time to defend for sure. So now if they popped out with Transcendence and dropped the beat, they can fight this. But they can't now. That's just an unfortunate way to lose, I think. But it all comes down to JKW like staying alive. Yeah, that was a big play. I mean, it is what it is. Minstrel, he shouldn't have dropped the beat, but it didn't matter because they wound up in a position where they were getting spawn camped by that Reaper ult regardless. And Mezer had to charge out. If the team had died on the cart together, this is like a very like iffy if statement thing. But if they all died on the cart, they could have maybe gotten like an extra second. If they didn't let the cart move at all during that fight, if they all just said, okay guys, we're gonna lose this fight, just die on the cart. Instead of getting picked off like, even if you get picked off like half a second, like every inch on this cart counts. So maybe they could have had time to come from this side or pop the Transcendence out with the Reinhardt. If the Reinhardt and the Zenyatta could have gotten through the door at the same time, they would have gotten everybody out and they would have had Black Hole, and then it might have been a different game. But that was just like the stars aligning for TSM there. Hardblue hit like a hook, got 2 people with his ult. He gets another hook, and they all like staggered. It was like 1 by 1. And I mean, that was it. That's that. Questions? Otherwise, I'll kill the VOD. I don't know how big the delay is on my stream, so I'll give it like 10 seconds. But TSM, like, they use their advantages when they had them. You can't tell when you're playing all the time, like, who has ult on the enemy team, but just how the game is. The thing is, like, you just kind of want to use them faster. You just want to use your ults faster. Like, the more ults you use, the better off you are. Don't, like, use them stupidly, but if you can use them quickly, you'll get another one. Holding on to an ult for too long is really bad in this game. Unless you're on defense and you're playing support and like you need to like save it. Like there's times where you need to save it. Like if you're playing Reinhardt against a Genji, you generally want to save Reinhardt ult for Genji ult. If there's like a black hole, you generally want to save your Transcendence for the black hole. I mean, stuff like that. But offensive heroes, you can pretty much spam them as much as you want, as long as you do it with your team around you. Like don't like pop a high noon when you're 1v5 and don't try to do a Death Blossom into 6 people without a bubble or something. But yeah, this was a pretty good match though. I mean, both teams played really well. It's just Liquid made a few mistakes on offense, and then TSM got a lot of really clutch timings on offense as well. But this 224 is actually not that big, and I think that Liquid probably could have beaten this time if they had played the hanger phase on their first push. But whatever, it's okay. That's Overwatch for you. But yeah, later guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following Smokey, VG, Glow Warrior, and Apute or Poot. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for everyone that's from YouTube, and I'll upload it tonight. And later guys.